is what I refer to as progressive devotees. And so I find your association very uplifting and powerful. Thank you for coming to this morning program every day. So we'll continue now with the class. Hare Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, dear devotees, today we have the fortune to dive into the heart of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the 10th canto, the crown jewel of all Vedic literature. The sages tell us that the first 9 cantos are like the 9 steps leading up to a grand temple. And the 10th canto is like entering into the sanctum, where we behold the Supreme Lord directly. Now let's take a quick sweeping journey through this canto, the 10th canto, up to this verse. This is the final chapter, right? So we can feel the weight of the moment in today's verse. So Krishna appears, he descends in Mathura. He's carried by Vasudeva across the Yamuna River to Gokula, where his childhood miracles enchant everyone. He steals butter, he defeats Putana and Trinavarta and countless other demons, showing that the Lord protects his devotees in the sweetest ways. Yes, it's sweet, because he's so cute when he's doing it. The Vrindavan section is the nectar of Krishna's babyhood and youth. Balya, Kaumara, and Kaishora Lila. Then the crescendo of love. The gopis abandon everything at the sound of his flute. The Rasa Lila reveals the supreme truth, that Krishna comes not to establish awe and reverence, but Krishna comes to taste and share the Madhurya Rasa, the most intimate exchanges of love. Yet these pastimes end in separation, because he has to move on beyond Vrindavan. Then Krishna leaves Vrindavan. He slays Kamsa in Mathura. You see that here. Eventually, he establishes his royal life in Dwarka. He marries Rukmini in a very dramatic way. He kidnaps her. You can see that there. Then Satyabhama, Jambavati, all his queens. And these marriages are not ordinary. They're expansions of divine love. Each queen representing a unique flavor of devotion. In Dwarka, We see Krishna not as a coward boy, but as a king, a statesman, the protector of dharma. The later chapters show his dealings with kings and sages, even the demigods. Krishna subdues Paundrak, Jarasandha, and Shishupal. Here you see dramatic Shishupal's losing some weight here by Krishna's grace. He brings the Pandavas victories, and yet Krishna remains seated in Dwarka, surrounded by his queens and devotees, playing the role of a householder. That brings us to today's verse, 10:90:24. So this is the final chapter of the 10th canto, chapter 90. After all the demon slaying and all the political intrigues, the Bhagavatam 10th canto does not close with conquest. It closes with intimacy. The queens speak their hearts, longing for the Lord, expressing even things like sarcasm, jealousy, and playful reproach. So it is here in verse 24 that they address a swan. They see the swan as Krishna's messenger. Oh, swan, welcome, sit, drink milk. Tell us of our beloved Shauri. Does he remember us, or has he forgotten us? And then the queens, they delivered their taunts, their piercing words. Tell him to come, but not with Lakshmi. Is she the only one faithful to him? But this is like the pinnacle, right? The unconquerable Lord is being conquered, not by weapons, but by the bold love of his devotees. So today, as we enter into this verse, it's good for us to remember the entire 10th canto has been preparing us, preparing our mind, our memories, our consciousness from the butter theft in Gokula, grand theft butter, to the Rasa dance in Vrindavan, to the royal majesty of Dwarka, for this very intimate revelation. The queens, they show us these heights of bhakti, that even reproach is nectarian, and even complaints done in the transcendental way are actually proof of love. So imagine this swan, elegant, serene. I've seen this swan just by the lake. I live just near a lake over here, just a few yards down. And these swans do come there, and they're so beautiful and they're serene, the way they glide. Imagine these swans gliding into Dwarka, the royal palace. And the queens, you can imagine how decked out they are, resplendent and adorned with jewels and finest of clothes. And they see him not as a mere bird, but as a messenger of their beloved Lord. They rush to greet him. Welcome, drink some milk. Tell us how easy it is to remember us. Then their words, they twist like a garland of roses with hidden thorns. They poke at him. They jab him. They taunt Krishna. They challenge him. They mock him even. But behind every sarcastic phrase lies an ocean of devotion. It's not human jealousy. This is called divine man. Mana means the sweet anger that only the most intimate lovers of the Lord can exhibit. So today we'll enter into this intimate chamber, this room of Krishna's queens, where sarcasm becomes nectar and reproach becomes unbreakable love. And it's also a very beautiful meter. It's a long verse, but it's a very beautiful meter. This is my favorite meter. Meter means a style in which the verse is sung. There's not many verses, by the way, in the Bhagavatam that have this meter. Maybe a handful, really. So this meter is reserved for some of the top ones. Include this meter that's used in the first and second verses as well. So here goes 10, 90, 24. Hamsa swagatamasya pibapayo bruhyanga shaure katham dutam tvam nuvedama kachi jajita swastyasta uktam pura kim va nashala sauhrida smaratitam kasmad bhajamo vayam Chaudralapaya kamadam shriyamrite Saivaikanishta striyam. Welcome, Swan. Please sit here and drink some milk. Give us some news of the descendant of Shura, dear one. We know you are his messenger. Is that invincible Lord doing well? And does that unreliable friend of ours still remember the words he spoke to us long ago? Why should we go and worship him? O servant of a petty master, go tell him who fulfills our desires, to come here without the goddess of fortune. Is she the only woman exclusively devoted to him? Reading from the purport by servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti relates the following conversation between the queens and the swan. The queens ask, is the unconquerable Lord doing well? The swan replies, how can Lord Krishna be doing well without you, his beloved consorts? But does he even remember what he once told one of us? Srimati Rukmini, does he recall that he said, in all my places, I see no other wife as dear as you? He does indeed remember this, the swan says. And that is just why he sent me here. You should all go to him and engage in his devotional service. Why should we go worship him if he refuses to come here to be with us? But my dear queens, my oceans of compassion, he is suffering so much from your absence. How can he be saved from this distress? Just listen, O servant of a petty master. Tell him to come here as he should. If he is suffering from lusty desires, he has only himself to blame, since he himself is the creator of Cupid's power. We self-respecting ladies are not going to yield to his demand that we go seek him out. The swan says, so be it. I will take my leave. No, 1 minute, Swan. Dear Swan, ask him to come to us here, but without the goddess of fortune, who always cheats us by keeping him all to herself. The swan says, don't you know the goddess Lakshmi is devoted exclusively to the Lord? How could he give her up like that? And the queen said, and is she the only woman in the world who's completely sold out to him? What about us? What about us? And that's what we call the sweet pain. So we're picturing this scene. The swan, elegant and poised, welcome with royal courtesy. Milk is offered, payo. The word payo means milk. But the queens cannot hold back the storm that's been brewing in their hearts. Does he remember us? Or are we merely shadows in his memory? Why should we go to him when he doesn't come to us? And then the sharpest barb, tell him to come without Lakshmi. Now externally, this may seem like an insult, but truly it is the depth of their love. When you're intimately close with someone, you can say things that no outsider would dare to say. Their complaints reveal their confidence that Krishna is theirs alone. See, the sense of confidence that Krishna is mine uniquely. It's amazing because when someone is giving us attention and care and love, and they make us feel that we're the most important person, it's just an outstanding feeling. And Krishna does that. And he can actually do that. He did that during the rasa dance. And then, of course, the souls that want that. We all want exclusive attention, one-pointed attention. This is the paradox of divine separation. Absence intensifies presence. So the pain of separation. See, the river of love has two banks, the two banks of the river. One bank is union, the other bank is separation, the embankment of separation. And the embankment of separation, the river is flowing faster than the embankment of union. It's true. How can the river flow faster and more intensely? The same river, because when it curves, the inner part of the curve, the river moves slower because it's moving at the same speed overall. And then the further part, because more distance, is actually moving faster and more intense. That separation, that intense, it actually brings the presence of Krishna more close, even though there is no physical presence. It's interesting. Their complaints intensify their love. Normally, we don't think of complaint as a sign of love. It's a sign of, okay, I've had enough with you. I'm no longer, it's a sign of separation. I don't want anything to do with you. We're done here. That's a complaint. But here, the complaint intensifies their love. And their sarcastic remarks. Sarcasm is evidence, it's proof of their absolute dependence on Krishna, on him. And Krishna appreciates that. The Acharyas, they comment, Vishnu Chakra Thakur, he's elaborated on this dialogue beautifully. We read in the purport. That the swan acts as this gentle go-between, praising Krishna, pleading on his behalf. But the queens resist the swan. The swan is saying, how can Krishna be happy without you? How can he be well even without you? And the queen said, does he even remember us? Does he remember his promises? He promised to the main queen, Rukmini. It doesn't seem to remember now. And the swan is like, of course, I am the representation of that memory. That's why he sent me. He sent me because he's loving you. He can't forget you. I am his messenger. So you go to him now. I came here to deliver the message that you please go to him. And the queen's like, why should we go? Let him come here. And the swan is like, yeah, but he's suffering in your absence. And the queen's like, well, he's the one who created Cupid. Let him solve his own desires. And the swan's like, all right, I'll go. And the queen's like, wait. Tell him to come here, but not with Lakshmi. They couldn't let him go without poking another barb at him. So it's really sharp, but it's filled with rasa. Rasa is this taste of love, the mellows of pure devotion. So what seems like defiance, what appears to be obnoxious defiance, is actually deep devotion. This is not criticism. This is intimacy. Only dearest lovers of the Lord can speak like this. So this is what the Vaishnava Acharyas, particularly Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, explains. Let's unpack some of the theology that's being used here. These are some of the names, some of the words that came up. Ajita. Ajita means the unconquerable one. So they use this word Ajita in this verse. This verse is so beautiful. And no one can conquer Krishna. He's Ajita. Jita means you win over somebody. Ajita means unbeatable, undefeatable. No one can defeat Krishna. Nothing can defeat Krishna except love. His queens, by their reproaching words, are binding him tighter than any chain could tighten cold. Then another barb. Chala sauhrada. Chala means fickle or cheating, like a cheating friend. Sauhrada means friend, but a cheating, like a so-called friend. They call him unreliable. They call him unreliable, and yet who but Krishna gives himself entirely, again and again, despite our forgetfulness. You know how many times we've forgotten Krishna? In fact, how many times we remember him? And yet he's still in our hearts. He allows his devotees to vent because that venting is saturated with attachment. If the venting is complaining that Krishna is not with us, and it's not in a pure way, Krishna appreciates that because it shows the intensity of their attachment. Of course, we cannot pretend and start venting. Nothing is more obnoxious than a premature presumption of intimacy. We can't do that in a conditioned state, but we can appreciate the pure devotees that do it in their state of separation. Mana is this divine or transcendental anger, jealousy, sarcasm. These are normally defects in this world, but when directed at Krishna in pure love, they become ornaments more precious than diamonds and gold. Mana. One of the names of Srimati Radharani is Manini, Mani Radha. Radha who's decorated in the ornaments of anger, jealousy, and sarcasm. It makes her look more beautiful. Amazing. And of course, this point of Lakshmi's exclusivity that also came up. The queens are jabbing at Lakshmi Devi. She's the only one faithful. It shows how bold they are. Lakshmi is glorious. She gets to massage lotus feet of the Lord around the clock. But the queens claim equal devotion. See, remember, they are also expansion of Lakshmi Devi herself. So devotion to Krishna, they're saying, is not monopolized. It is the inheritance. It is the birthright. It is the existential right of all surrendered souls. But they have to be surrendered. Thus we learn the unconquerable Lord, Ajita, he surrenders to the love of his devotees. He doesn't have to, but he does. What does this mean for us? Us right here in 2025, living in the world, middle of Kali Yuga. What does it mean for us? Certain things that longing in absence. Sometimes when we're chanting, we feel no presence. We don't feel the presence of Krishna. We don't feel it. We wonder, has he forgotten me? Has he forsaken me? That feeling itself, if we have that feeling, my Lord, where are you? That feeling is Krishna's gift. If we even ask, my Lord, where are you? He is increasing our eagerness. That's his gift to us. Cherish that feeling. This moment you feel intensely, my Lord, where are you? Why are you not here? He's here. See. Another point is Sangha, strength in community. The queens who are all together, they're speaking collectively. So we too find strength when we remember Krishna together. That's what we're doing here. We're in a circle. We hang out with each other with the goal to increase our devotional service to Krishna, to inspire each other, to appreciate each other's efforts. Sangha turns loneliness into longing for Krishna. And Sangha turns longing into love for Krishna. So Sangha is important. Devotional community, association of devotees. Then another point that comes up is honesty and transparency, honesty in our bhakti. The queens didn't hide their doubts or their feelings. We can also approach Krishna in full honesty, full openness. Right? We can approach Krishna with complete honesty in prayer and chanting. And if the queens can question him, surely we can cry out our hearts to him. My Lord, this is how I'm feeling. This is where I'm stuck. Our chanting is a prayer. What is a prayer? Please engage me in your service. That's a very loaded request. Are you ready to take it? If he answers, how much of it? That question has so many questions associated with it. My Lord, please engage me in your service. Please help me come out of my blocks, my conditioning. Please help me be the way you want me to be. Please help me see. Please help me see the right path. Then there's exclusivity of heart. Just like the queens wanted Krishna only, we want to guard our hearts from distraction. We don't want anything else. Ananya Bhakti, right? Krishna uses the word Ananya Bhakti a lot in the Bhagavad Gita. Ananya, no other, just Krishna. Mere to Giridhar Gopal, dusro na koi. This is a line by Mirabai. He says, for me, the only person is Giridhar Gopal, Gopal Krishna, who lives at Govardhan. Dusro na koi, nobody else. I don't want anyone else. I don't think of anyone else. My only goal in life is Krishna, nothing else. So some closing reflections here. That only love can one scold. The queen scold Krishna, yet Krishna relishes every word. Prabhupada once says, the devotee sometimes quarrels with the Lord, but the Lord enjoys it. This is love that's so intimate. This love of the queens is so intimate. Lord prefers reproach over flattery. He prefers complaint over praise, because both reproach and complaint, they spring from an unbreakable attachment of love. See? So in this beautiful verse, we go deeper in the theology. By that same Acharya who revealed to its sweetness to us, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he wrote another immortal book, which is a very important guidebook for us devotees, called Madhurya Kadambini. In there, he describes how the creeper of our devotion grows through the stages from Shraddha to Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, which is faith and association and practice, to Anartha Nivritti means purification, and then on to Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, and finally Prema, the love of Godhead. So what we see in today's verse is the flowering of that Prema. This is the highest, this is the final goal of that creeper as it grows, the Prema part. What we see that as today, the 90th chapter, the 10th canto, is the last chapter. And the highest ornament of that is mana, loving, jealous anger. Yes. This stage is not available to us just through dry austerity or through dry scholarship. Only through pure surrender is it available. And Vishnacharya explains that even apparent obstacles, the doubts, the anger, feelings of separation, they become ornaments of bhakti. They become ornaments of bhakti. So we may ask, where am I on this journey of bhakti? Am I at faith, at practice, at purification? Maybe am I tasting a little bit of that ruchi, that the taste that comes with it? So the book Madhurya Kadambini assures us, if we continue sincerely on the path, the Lord himself takes us step by step toward the same intimacy that queens are expressing here. So let us not fear when Krishna seems distant. No. Let us not hesitate to open our hearts to him, even in our beginning stages, even with doubts, even with complaints, because he accepts it all. He just wants you to approach him, that's it. He accepts it all. He transforms it into ornaments on the creeper of our devotion. The queens of Dwarka showed us what lies at the summit. Madhurya Kadambini shows us how to walk that path that leads there. So may we too dare tread that path until our love becomes so fearless, so exclusive, so bold, that even Ajita, the unconquerable, becomes conquered. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your valuable time and for your kind attention. Hare Krishna. We have about 10 minutes or so before the curtain opens. So Poppy has a question on the chat, and then we'll go to Vaneet Prabhu. How do we overcome making prayers or guidance with doubts and expectations to show up on my timeline in my preferred solution? How do I pray, request, have faith, or surrender, or understand that whatever uncomfortable situation I am in is because Krishna has arranged it for bigger purposes? How do I shift from why me, Krishna, to help me understand and have faith on you in this situation? Wonderful questions, Poppy. Thank you for asking them. These are perennial questions. How do we know? How do we see these difficult situations that we're in? Help me understand and have faith in you in this situation. You know, one of my mentors, Kalakant Prabhu, I asked him once, Prabhuji, how are you doing? He said, I'm doing way better than I deserve. Way better than I deserve. Just that one answer, I found it so profound. Changes the perspective completely. If we always think, really genuinely think, Krishna, I'm doing way better than I deserve. Why me? We should ask why me when something good happens to us, not when something bad happens to us. Because of why me? I didn't do anything to deserve this wonderful situation you put me in. I didn't do anything to deserve the sangha of nice devotees that I have. I didn't do anything to deserve your beautiful darshan today, that I'm in the temple. Why me? My Lord, you must be so infinitely kind that even someone like me gets someone like this, something like this. Then what happens? That tsunami of gratitude washes away the other why me's when we're going through difficulties. See? It's all about perspective. we should ask, why me, when things are good? And when things are tough, difficult, blocks, we should also thank Krishna. Krishna, yes, certainly I deserve a lot worse than this, because I know my tendencies. I can imagine what I've done historically. I may not remember everything, but I know the tendencies in my heart to be selfish. And the track record in my life has not been great either, the selfishness record. So the fact that I'm still here, the fact that I'm only suffering a little bit, I'm going to continue offering my obeisances to you, my Lord. See? So this is that verse, Tatenu Kampamsa Samikshamana, that one waits for the mercy of the Lord, while still suffering the painful reactions of their own misdeeds. You offer obeisances with your words, your heart, your body. Then what happens? You get a bulletproof ticket to Krishna. So that's the perspective that we are encouraged to always keep in our hearts. Then from that stance, we can pray with genuine heart. And even if you're feeling some bitterness, Krishna, still, I don't think this is good. It's fine. We can still pray. Pray to the Lord. My Lord, my perspective needs some changing. Because devotees in every situation find sweetness, nectar. If you think about it, our situation in this human body is not particularly nice. We may think it's nice in certain ways, but it's not really very nice. We don't, we just got used to it. It's actually kind of lame. So whether it's a little bit worse, a little bit better, who cares? It doesn't really matter so much, When you're sitting on a chair made of nails, whether there's one more nail or one less nail, what does it matter? You're sitting in a chair of nails. So now someone gets a couple less nails and say, yes, I'm so nice. And some people get a few more pins. This is so bad. Our situation is awful to begin with. We are in an Iron Maiden. Look it up. Iron Maiden, it looks like a human being, looks like a beautiful maiden, but it's actually a torture device invented in Europe to torture people. It's like opens up and then it has nails and poke you. So our body's like that. Body pokes us all the time. It's easier to see that when we're older. But even young age, we have diseases all the time. In old age, we have a little more. But, kids have measles and chicken pox. And then we have teeth loose and a diaper rash. There's pain throughout the life. It's not that there's no pain in youth. So I hope that helps, Poppy. Thank you for your question. Vanit,
thank you so
yes,
thank you so much, Prabhu. This was very helpful, and I always appreciate your classes and your insights. Just one follow-up question, just me being me and my own behavioral pattern. I feel like when I'm put under the pressure, instead of, going to Krishna saying, help me through this, I go in automatic in that zone. Krishna, why me? Why another on my plate? And I think I'm asking, like, how do I shift from automatically going into that why me zone? Or
yes. One thing I can suggest to you, you can read certain passages that are very conducive to shifting your perspective. In the 11th canto, there is the prayer, the song of the Avanti Brahmana. Read that. The song of the Avanti Brahmana. Read it thoroughly to see what he went through.
That's in, you said 11th canto in...
Look it up. Just Google it. The song of the Avanti Brahmana in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you.
Read the whole passage. You'll see what he went through. And after reading that, you're like, actually, it's not so bad for me. I'm not doing so bad. And meditate on it. Okay, that's one I can recommend. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Okay. I see my dear friend Govinda Prem Prabhu is here. Hare Krishna obeisances. Govinda Prem Prabhu from Kenya just joined. Yes. Vanit Prabhu, I think we have a couple minutes. Let's go for it.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandra Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Preeta Satmaya Balabhasan to a lotus seat. Thank you so much for the nectarian class, and you explained it very well. I have two, three questions, Prabhuji. So first, you said about the meter. What is the best way to learn the meter?
Yeah, you can attend a class on how to chant these meters. There's actually some classes out there.
Okay.
I know Radhika Raman Prabhu, our dear friend, he's a great scholar in Sanskrit. He's a professor. He has done some courses on how to chant these meters. You can look it up. I think it's out there on YouTube.
Okay.
I had actually started writing up a class for this, for the Bhakti Center to
Oh, very good.
present here. I was working with Damodar Priya, but somehow that didn't pan out. But maybe this is an opportunity to consider that again. So we'll talk about that. Maybe I can set that up as well.
Yeah.
But they're different meters. The meters are meant to evoke
Right.
different feelings. Some are more philosophical. So then the meter is the standard. The Bhagavad Gita meter. Bhagavad Gita has like 2 or 3 meters, right? Bhagavatam has many more meters. But definitely it's meant to evoke some feelings. This particular one, the same meter as the first verse of the Bhagavatam. Yeah.
Very good. And my second question is, you mentioned about a very beautiful line, absence is the presence. So can you a little bit?
Yes. Once upon a time, Srimati Radharani was holding hands with Krishna, and she was just like inches away from him. And she went into this deep sense of, my God, where's my Krishna? He's not here. She closed her eyes and, where's Krishna? Why is he so far away from me? I miss him so much. I wish he was here. Even though both her hands are being held by Krishna and he's inches away from her. The sense of separation, the pain is so sweet and deep and intense that is even more intense than being there with him physically. The intensity of love reaches its crescendo when one misses somebody. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and that fondness is actual intimacy. The love gets more intense, and therefore there's more presence in absence. That's the paradox of divinity. Yes.
Thank you so much. And the last question is, please forgive me for
I
this
think the
question.
curtain is opening, Prabhu, so we'll have to.
Sure.
The curtain should be opening in a few seconds. So maybe we'll have to take this on the other side of the. Okay, you can hold on. A few minutes, we'll do darshan. And then after that, we'll have some more questions. Okay? All right. Radha Murlidhar ki jai. So everyone, please turn on your camera so then you can offer your darshan to the Lord as well.
Jai Shri Shri Radha Murlidhar Gaur Chandra Bhagavan Ki Jai. Govinda Hari Purusam Amaham Jai Govinda Hari Purusam Hari Purusam Amaham Enam Kwan Bhatam Arvindayatacham Bhagavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandapakoti Kamaniya Isheshashu Govinda Hari Purusam Govinda Hari Purusam Govinda Hari Purusam Maya sadhu Valavigasya Govinda Mani Purusham Kama Madhyamini Govindam Hari Gundam Govindam Hari Purusham Jai Shri Shivana Muralidhar Gaur Chandra Bhagavan Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. You can leave that here. The lotus feet of our spiritual master is the only way by which we can obtain pure devotion and service. And bow down to his lotus feet and pray all in reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. By invitation of the half-body knowledge, purified by the words and aim from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection of his own desire. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. And from him ecstatic frame emanates, and by him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. May your fame be spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter at your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, welcome to the Afterglow. Madan Gopal Prabhu, thank you very much for the wonderful class as always and for staying overtime. Dear devotees, please take advantage of Madan Gopal Prabhu's association. Ask a question, share a reflection, and be brief. This is edit time. Let's do it. Vanit Prabhu, are you done
I think
asking?
Mani Prabhu had one more question.
Go ahead, Prabhu.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much again. Prabhuji, my last question is, as we see in the verse that the queens are envious of Lord Lakshmi. So how would we take it? Like in devotional services also we see that sometimes we see that either Guru or Lord Krishna mercy to a devotee, and we should not idly get envious, but enviousness will come. How to overcome that, or is it good or bad?
Now, that's a good question. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm unmuted. See, on the surface, the queens of Dwarka appear to be speaking words that are tinged with jealousy or rivalry, wondering if Krishna still remembers them. But this is different from material envy. You see, material envy means wanting to harm another because of their good fortune. It means wanting to sabotage their progress, wanting to block their successful projects. That is never spiritual. But the queen's mood is not malicious envy. It's an expression of what's called transcendental rivalry, Vaimanasya. And that is within the Lord's Hladini Shakti, it's within the Lord's pleasure potency. It intensifies the rasa, spiritual flavor. So loving jealousy enhances rasa. But in our case, when we feel that tinge, it's usually sourced from the sense that why am I not the center? Why they get to be the center? Why they get attention? Why do I not get attention, appreciation, acknowledgement? Why are people being so mean to me? And things like that. Or maybe they're not being mean. It's just that we don't like when someone else does better. Now, if they do better in a different field than our field, we're okay with it. If my main thing is cooking and somebody else is, they're famous for singing, it doesn't bother me. But if someone else gets glorified for their cooking more than me, then it bothers me. Like, I should be the number one, right? So that's something for us to watch out for. And it's natural. Okay, this is very natural. So we should accept that this is natural. Remember, not everything natural is good for us. And sometimes we say, oh, this foods are natural. There's no all natural ingredients and natural flavors and no artificial anything. So everything natural has to be good. No, there are poisonous plants out there. They're all natural. They'll kill you. You know, there is such a thing as lower nature and higher nature. Both are natures. So when we follow the conditioned nature, we go worse. It gets worse. When we follow our higher nature, means to understand from a better, higher perspective that no, this feeling I'm feeling is natural, but it's coming from the lower nature. So we have to learn to step away and recognize where is this feeling, natural feeling coming from lower nature. That no, I'm feeling this because that devotee got appreciated, I didn't. And I should change this. That devotee is sincere. It doesn't mean that if some devotee is actually doing something bad to sabotage things, that they should not be called out on. You see, there's certain red flags to avoid. And if you're in a position of authority or in a position, see something, say something, then bring it up also. It's not that, oh, maybe if I said something, then, if some person constantly keeps kidnapping children right in front of me and I don't say anything because that person is respected. No, say something. Hey, it's not what you do, We're wondering where all these kids are going. I saw the guy kidnapping kids. So that's not envy. So you have to be careful what you do, where you do, but that's why you have to check. Right? Is that okay, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Prabhu?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we have 3 more. Billy Prabhu, then Min and Mathuranath. Go ahead, Billy.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Madan Gopal. I'm a little nervous, so please accept my obeisances first. First of all, I should ask to that. 2 reflections. One is surrendering. Are you ready to surrender to Krishna? And the meaning behind the chanting after you do the 108 beats. I find it very, very comforting that the devotees have been so kind to answer that question for me in puzzle pieces. And you just put the final piece of the puzzle today by what you said. You helped me reflect last night. One of the inmates here was playing chess with me, and he's a professional. He beat me, right? And I'm going to get to the point right away. So the king and the queen, Krishna doesn't go anywhere without his devotees. Krishna's always in company with his queen, Radha, I don't know, in the Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhara, Srivasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So Krishna's complete. He's complete. And when we chant 108 rounds, we're acknowledging, Krishna, you're complete. You're like a king. The king leaves his castle, but he never goes out the castle alone. His kingdom. So thank you for that. And the other reflection is surrendering. I feel so ready to surrender, yet I'm so nervous. And I look at you giving class today, I'm like, wow, I would love to surrender to someone. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional here. Someone like you. Either, I don't know if you have Thank you for class.
Thank you, William Prabhu. You're a very sincere devotee. Thank you. That is very inspiring. The way you appreciate the katha, and the way you reflect it. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay. Min followed by Mathuranath Prabhu.
Thank you, Billy. I just want to say something to Billy that, when you say Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda, you are Gaura Bhaktavinda. What is Gaura Bhaktavinda? You are part of Krishna's circle. See, you have joined this circle. Vrinda means circle. Gaura Bhakta means the devotees of the Lord Gaura. So by chanting Hare Krishna, by completing one round, the round that represents all the gopis, that represents a rasa dance, and you're touching those beads, you're touching the lotus feet of each of the gopis, and you're begging them to be in their presence. That is Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, you see. So you are that. So don't think by chanting, you've started your journey in surrender. And then surrender is a gradual thing. It's not on-off switch. It's a spectrum. As you go more and more, you get more surrendered. So you will taste more and more. You'll feel more nourished with every morsel of this divine food. So keep doing it. And, if you need anything and I can be of any service, please feel free to reach out to me as well. Okay, Billy?
Can we address William Prabhu as Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu from now on? Can that be his affectionate devotee?
Yes. So all of us are Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, and Billy is definitely one shining member. Hare Krishna.
Great. Wonderful.
Okay, Min. Go ahead, Min. It's been so long. How have you been?
Very, very good. Thank you so much for such a great class, and it's so nice to see you. I have a question about the last portion of the lecture where you sort of summarize how we can bring the teachings of this portion of Bhagavatam to our daily lives. And what stood out to me is this attitude of sense of honesty towards Krishna. But sometimes or many times, many days, it seems like Krishna can be unreachable. And when we think about devotees or sadhu sangha, they feel more accessible and concrete in their presence than many times presence of Krishna. Is it possible for us to practice this honesty that we could bring to Krishna with our devotees, with sadhu sangha? And what does that look like? Sometimes like speaking to Krishna, like I feel as though I could just say anything and everything. But I understand that, with people around us, maybe there needs to be some more of a discrimination in what we share. But nevertheless, how do we practice this honesty with devotees around us so that maybe we could bring ourselves in more better way of bringing that to Krishna? I'm not sure if my question is clear.
Yes, thank you, Min. Your questions are always very deep and thought-provoking, and they're very practical. I appreciate it very much. With the practical application, I find that when we approach our acharyas, especially Rupa Goswami's book, The Nectar of Instruction, that many of these questions get answered in a very direct and clear way. They're there. Like he gives, 6 things that'll guarantee you'll succeed in Krishna consciousness, 6 things that'll guarantee you'll fail in Krishna consciousness, and then six exchanges of love between devotees, practical ways you can actually, which will also again supercharge your Krishna conscious growth. So one of them is, so of the 6 things, giving gifts, exchanging gifts, and then opening your heart to another devotee. you see. And opening your heart means you express to them what you want to say to them in honesty. And also opening your heart to receive what they want to tell to you honestly. This increases the bond of love so deeply. But at the same time, he also tells us that we should be discerning who to approach like that. You see, we have to be careful. And he tells us how to discern too. See, he tells us the 3 grades of devotees, who you can open your heart to, how you can be friends with them. First, develop some friendship, get to know, see if they'll actually be confidential with that. So these are practical things, because we know in our experiences, even devotees, we've opened our hearts with them and they went out and told us somebody else and we feel heartbroken. So that's important. It's very important that we are not that person who's going to copy paste onto Facebook. We're not that person who's going to do that. And this also, we should be careful who we open up to. So these are very practical things that Rupa Goswami tells us to do. So that's one thing. But he tells us that we have to do it. You see, that's important. You can't make progress without opening up to another devotee and being honest with them. Ideally, well, even Krishna says, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashna. We should approach a spiritual master who's seen the truth. And pariprashna means ask all kinds of questions. These are honest, open, heartfelt questions. That's what the spiritual master's job is. That's their primary job, is to answer your open, heartfelt question and how to apply Krishna consciousness to your life. You see, there are many books of medicine out there, but there's one doctor who can prescribe you, because the doctor knows you can prescribe the right medicine. See, so that's how we connect to the right person. And the doctor can also say, but the guru can also say, okay, this is good, you're associated with these people or whatever. You can get guidance from the guru, how to find the right person, so on. That's why the guru is the first thing. And that's why in the Nectar of Instruction, the very first verse is what? Is actually how to find a guru, believe it or not. It is. There's the 6 qualities that a guru should have. You see, so that's first you go shopping for a guru, and then the guru can help you understand the rest of the Nectar of Instruction. So these are very, very important things. The practical step is find someone you can really trust. These are the qualifications of guru, and then you can take it from there. I hope that helps. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay, I have about another 1 minute. I'm a 1 minute over time, because actually 8:20 stop. But Mathuranath Prabhu, we can take your comment or question, then we can.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's of a similar nature. I'm 49 now and been trying to be a devotee since I was around 20. So
When's your birthday?
May 18th.
May 18th.
May 18th. Yeah.
1976.
Yes. Yes. So
So exactly like 2 months older than me.
oh wow. Well, I think I'm your junior in many ways. So something happening for me is really coming to authentically see where I'm really at. And I've experienced for so much of my devotional attempts in trying to approach Krishna, not coming from where I'm at, not being aware of where I'm really at. So a lot of spiritual bypassing. So my question is for the younger people, and even for me now, how can we really get more in touch with authentically where we're at? Because trying to come from where we're not at, it's very hard to make progress. It's almost impossible to make progress.
Great question. Great question. Thank you very much for asking the question. This question is very dear to me personally. And I'll tell you why. My own initiating spiritual master, His Holiness Satsur Das Goswami Maharaj, has written literally hundreds of books on this topic. He's written more than 200 books. I'm not even kidding. Exploring authenticity of the self. Am I really pretending to be something I'm not? And most of the time we are. And so this quest for authenticity, am I really as advanced as I think I am? Am I really at Uttamadhikari level? When I read into Uttamadhikari, oh, that's me. Am I feeling it? When you're young, like you said, when you're young, we feel, oh yeah, I'm definitely this. Love of Krishna, I got it, man. I love Krishna, dude. I love strawberry ice cream. I love Krishna. What's the difference? So, right? There's the level of immaturity is there. And then later on, we realize, no, our affection for the world is actually pretty deep. Our attachments are deep. Our addictions are deep. Oh, it's so disappointing. And then we have adjustments. So Krishna makes adjustments for us. He makes us aware of them. And he makes adjustments even for great devotees like Narad Muni. If Narad Muni gets proud, Krishna adjusts it for him too. So we can have faith in his level of adjustment. Krishna adjusts great devotees like Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma got confused and this little boy is Krishna. Let me play a trick on him. So Krishna is always adjusting. So we can have faith that Krishna will do an adjustment for us, attitude adjustment. But if you pray to him, that same Brahma comes as Haridas Thakur, who needs no adjustment, you see.
Mm-hmm.
So if you embrace the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur, even though Brahma is ahead of our sampradaya, we say, Lord Brahma, please let me become like Haridas Thakur. So then we become, it's a maturity. Maturity cannot be rushed. So like you said, we can't rush it. However, the reason I pointed to my Guru Maharaj's books is they're available for free. You can just find them on his website. And if you like to read some of his poems and his books, it's all about finding authenticity. Because it's so long, such a journey, it's good to read how others before us have contended with this. And I can propose that as one solution. But it's a long haul. It's not an easy journey. Thank you, Mathuranath Prabhu.
Thank you.
I have to jump now. We have another call, but thank you all for your kind association.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Madan Gopal Prabhu ki jai.
Veta Bhaktivinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Madan Gopal Prabhu, before you leave, can you say Krishna, I'm yours? Just one time in class. Yeah.
That's Venu Madhuri's job to say that. Krishna, I'm yours. All of you should say that. Hare Krishna.
Sure. Very cool.
Thank you so much, Madan Gopal Prabhu. Jai.
Oh,
Thank you.
Devaki Priti, Hare Bol.
Okay, Hare Krishna. And as always, the finisher. We need the finisher. How about Min? Min, would you like to recite the Maha Mantra?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Sweet. Thank you very much. Happy Sunday. We love you. We need you. Don't